Sweet. And we're on.
Welcome, everybody, to Skyler Jarvis Media, your new host for everything Skyler Jarvis.
Yes, sir.
And today we're doing my first podcast episode.
This is it.
This is it. This is what everybody's been waiting for. Everybody's asked me, Skyler, when are you doing a podcast? When are you doing a podcast? Well, I'm doing one now.
You're doing one now. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So,
the Skyler Jarvis show.
the Skyler Jarvis show.
Jarvis.
Jarvis.
The Skyler Jarvis show.
Skyler Jarvis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what we got going on, Skyler? What we got going on today?
For those of you who don't know, my name's Skyler Jarvis. I was born right here in Taylorsville on October 4th, 2001, almost a month after the 9/11 attacks.
Dang, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here.
Yes. They found out I was blind at 5 months old. And I've lived most of my life in Taylorsville up until I went to high school at the Governor Moorhead School for the Blind. I started going there for summer camps, and then eventually I started going full-time. And then I came back, COVID hit, and, things kind of fell apart for me, and it gave me time to reevaluate. And now I'm here.
And now you're here.
I'm here.
Yes, sir. You said it. What age did you say that they found that you was blind?
5 months.
5 months.
5 months.
Wow, that's wild, man. Yeah, 5 months. At first I thought you said 5 years.
Yeah, 5 months old.
Wow, bro. So, this is it. This is your podcast, brother.
Yeah, man.
So now you get to enjoy the pleasures of figuring out what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because now this is your turn. This is your turn to you have to unless you don't want to, you have to damn.
Well, I'm a 2000s kid born and bred. Let's talk about the 2000s this podcast episode.
Yes, sir. I'm with it, brother.
So,
man, I'm with it.
Anybody who grew up in the 2000s knew what a monumental decade it was. There was so much that the iPhone came out in the later part of the decade. Great music, before it was all just, mumble rap.
Mumble rap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, good music. And there was some music that wasn't that good there too, but in
2000s, early 2000s or late 2000s, just the 2000s in general.
2000s in general, but most of the music was just pure. I think it was the last good decade for music, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
So 2000 through 2010, is that was what you're talking about?
Yeah. There was some good music that came out in the 2010s.
Yeah.
But I meant as far as just monumental music that these people were coming out with hit after hit after hit.
Yeah, I agree. Like Lil Wayne, Eminem,
yes,
Nelly.
Yes,
100% Nelly.
100%.
People forget about Nelly, but
people do, man.
I think Nelly was. I'm pretty sure he was selling more records than Eminem and Lil Wayne. Well, maybe not Eminem, but Lil Wayne. Like he was early. He was up there. I'm pretty sure. That one album that he did, Country Grammar, I'm pretty sure that album went diamond.
It did. That's a good album, though.
And I'm pretty sure that there hasn't been many
diamond albums in the later, in the 2010s.
Yeah.
There's only a few that's went diamond.
Like I'm pretty sure an Eminem album may have.
Several Eminem albums.
Maybe the Carter 3. Or Carter 4, maybe that.
The Carter 4, man, that was my introduction to Lil Wayne.
Really?
And that's
a good one.
That was, we still weren't really allowed to have explicit music in the house.
Oh yeah,
and we you know, Lil Wayne, Caden started bumping him, and then, you know, I heard I Like the View, you know, from the bonus tracks.
Oh yeah, from Carter 4?
Carter 4, yeah.
The View?
I Like the View from Here.
I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah, that's
I know there was another bonus track on there. It was
Mirror.
Up, and Away.
Up and Away. Up and Away.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mirrors was on there
Mirror.
beforehand. Yeah, I think
Mirror,
that's just an essential one of the album.
Yeah, I think.
Like with Bruno Mars?
Yeah, the original was like 15 songs, but.
Really?
Yeah, the one with 18 songs, it just, you know.
Yeah,
and then the iTunes version had Up and Away on it.
Ah, yeah. You're right. Yeah, because there's certain albums like, you know, the Drake album, Take Care.
Oh, I love that album.
That on the CD didn't have the motto on it.
Really?
Yeah, it don't have the motto on it. I have that CD. I have the motto. Well, not the motto. I have that CD, Take Care.
Oh, yeah. You know why? Because the motto's on the deluxe edition.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure, like,
I'm pretty sure they have that on CD somewhere.
They may, and I just don't have it. They may have that on CD, but I don't have the deluxe version.
The original, I think, just has 18 songs.
On Take Care?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good album.
And then the motto, Hate Sleeping Alone. That's your bonus songs.
Yeah, holy shit. I mean, shoot. we got to keep cussing to the minimum.
Yeah.
I bet, yeah. I guess, you know, one or two every once in a while, probably. Let's just, you know.
Yeah, let's just try to tone that down.
Tone that down a little bit. Sorry about that, audience.
It's all good.
Yeah,
but
we keep it going.
We keep it going. Just move on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the 2000s. So many good video games came out then, man. The PlayStation 2.
Yeah, you talking about consoles or just games in general?
Well, games that came out on the console, because we grew up with a PlayStation 2.
Yeah, PlayStation 2 and Xbox, the original.
Well, we didn't get an Xbox until later on. My mama actually got one at a yard sale, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
And then she ended up giving it to my cousin, Cody. He was looking for one.
Wow. Whenever I was little, my dad had an Xbox, and supposedly the story is that I had stepped on one of the Xbox games, and it broke. And he just stopped playing video games after that.
Bro.
I'm pretty sure that was like his favorite game.
I bet it was.
But as a kid, I broke the disc, and I think I'm pretty sure it was like Halo or something. And then he didn't want to play any more video games after that.
Bro, have you ever heard of Killzone?
Killzone?
Yes.
That sounds familiar. It reminds me of the word calzone.
The original game, it's basically like a futuristic, you know, military game or something. I've heard people kind of compare it to Halo, but
Killzone?
Not that much. I mean, it's its own thing.
Man, you know what I was about to play the other day?
What's up?
And what I plan on playing? Doom.
Yeah, I've heard of that game. I've actually heard of that game, and I've never played it.
Steph was showing me the newer one that's going to come out in 2025.
Nice.
Yeah, but the old ones are pretty cool. I mean, the original one has like terrible graphics. Like there's like Doom 64, and then there's like a Doom Classic.
Back in the day, you couldn't really expect real high graphics out of stuff like that, bro. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't
bad for the time, but
yeah.
Now, if you look back and
no, they're like this was like, I'm pretty sure this is like old graphics, like
right. This is before the PlayStation 2.
Like probably 80s, maybe not 80s, maybe 90s, maybe 90s.
It was. I think it was around 94, 95. At least that's what I've heard.
There's been all kinds of games and such that's came out.
Wasn't there a new Doom game that came out like
2020,
2016, 2017?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then one came out in 2020.
Huh.
And then now there's going to be one coming out in 2025.
You know, Red Dead Redemption, that game right there, the first one, I got it when I got it Christmas 2018 for that. I had an Xbox 360 at the time.
Yeah.
And Caden got Red Dead too.
I never played either one of them.
Man, if you like the Grand Theft Auto franchise, you're going to love Red Dead Redemption because it takes that, sense of realism that's in GTA and turns it up to 11. It's really cool. I mean, Linda Stoner, she was like, wow. And my mama and Papaw, Papaw, shout out Papaw, but you think you're not really good at playing video games, but I honestly say for somebody that's blind, you could play it. If you are told what to do during certain things, you can do better than I can at some things.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. Papaw, he would be in there trying to help me on this one GTA mission. His hair, when he gets irritated, his hair stands up.
Yeah.
And his hair was standing up. Man.
He was infuriated.
Well, I mean, he was trying to help me. He was trying to figure it out, and he couldn't because the car kept setting on fire. You had to get. It's that one mission in San Andreas where you have to go destroy this crack lab, basically.
Oh, San Andreas. I don't really know much about San Andreas. I haven't really played that.
It's where you.
I think I used to have it on the PSP.
I didn't know you could get San Andreas on the PSP.
I may even be wrong about that. It was a Grand Theft Auto game on the PSP. I just assumed that's what it was.
I think it was Vice City Stories.
It very well could have been.
Or Liberty City Stories.
Yeah, I don't really remember what it is. I remember it was a GTA. I just assumed that's what it was, but we was playing it, and I'm pretty sure it was my cousins, and we was playing it at my Mimi's house.
Uh-huh.
And I love that game, and then my Mimi figured out what the game was about and what was up with it, and then we never got to play it again after that.
Well, Grand Theft Auto, I've played Liberty City Stories.
Uh-huh.
I haven't played Vice City Stories. That's one I really do want to play one day.
Vice City Stories.
I've played the original Vice City, but Vice City Stories, the PSP game, I haven't played. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's probably the only, just whatever it was on the PSP.
Big Vance.
I don't know. I don't really remember playing much of the story. I didn't really do any of the missions or anything. I'm pretty sure that was already all beat whenever I was playing it. It was just more like free roam.
That's what I do. I try to get, all the map unlocked, especially in San Andreas. I mean, I have to, have some people help me with the missions sometimes, but in some games I can do it. But
yeah. I mean, sometimes it gets a little bit difficult on some games, especially. Actually, on a lot of games that I run into, there's a bunch of missions and there's a bunch of different obstacles that I run into that I usually can't figure out. Right. And sometimes I have to look it up. Hey, shout out to all those people. Shout out to every single one of those people that post videos on YouTube on tutorials on how to complete certain missions on video games. Big time shout out, because I wouldn't be anywheres without you. For real.
And not only that, how to do different settings on, on games, especially for me, how to get to the, menu narrator, or, depending on what game it is.
Yeah.
Or helping me, turn the first-person vehicle hood on in GTA 5.
First-person vehicle?
First-person vehicle hood. It's basically where, like, whenever it would show the car inside the interior of the car.
Yeah.
Instead, it would just show the hood and a little bit of the road, so I could see where I was going a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. I was actually curious as to how you go about playing video games.
It takes me a minute to learn them. I mostly play open world games for that reason.
Oh yeah.
Because if not, then I would be stuck on a mission forever in some cases.
Yeah, I mean I do that anyways. You know?
Yeah.
I do that anyways, and I can see, you know. So I mean, I'm just damn impaired in general.
Bro.
But yeah, bro, whenever you and what you was listening to earlier, what was that? Is that a movie or a show?
Yeah.
What was it?
It's the CBS version of The Stand. There was one that the ABC did, but they cut a lot of the more graphic stuff that was in the book, about the plague and stuff, and just certain aspects of the book they toned down because it was a TV series.
Yeah, so
and then this new one, like, I didn't like it at first, and I thought it was complete garbage until recently I sat down and really watched it.
So I noticed on that, like, there was how you was watching it. It had a person kind of narrating what
audio
was going
description.
on.
I can't believe I haven't told you what audio description.
Yeah, bro,
I feel so dumb.
Well, there's certain things like I'm just curious about, and then like it's just a part of you. It's just a part of like how you go about doing things and how you access things, and like people like me just don't understand like how that works and how you go about, say, like watching. Because there's certain things that you do on a daily basis that just make sense to you, and then you just don't even think about explaining whatever it is because that's just what you do.
Right. And that's why I'm glad I have this podcast now, because I can go into stuff like this and I can really get down to the nitty-gritty. I mean, I could have done that, but now I have the opportunity to really, tell what all this, experience has led up to.
Like kind of like your challenges and, certain aspects of, your experience just in life in general and as a blind person.
Right.
Because there's certain things that you go through that, other people may not.
Exactly.
But like that right there, like, What was you just talking about the
audio description?
Yeah. How does that work? Is it just through your phone, or is it just through?
It's through. It can be through a number of services. Apple TV has it. Netflix has it.
Is that what you was watching it through? Was Netflix?
No. Speaking of which, I want to refer you to a website right quick. AudioVault.net.
Yeah, what's that?
So what it is, it's a place where you can download audio described movies in MP3 form, download them straight to your iPhone. As audio files, and then, if you want to put them on a flash drive, put them on a flash drive. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And that way you can listen to movies and TV shows. Yes, you can download TV shows with this. Yes, it is very cool. I've downloaded a lot of stuff from this website. My friend Carol referred me to them.
Shout out Carol.
Shout out to Carol.
Man. Yeah, so it gives you the description. So do you have to line it up? You have to line it up like whenever you press play on there, you have to press play on your on whatever you're watching, or does it automatically go with it?
So there's audio. In a lot of movies, there's there's audio settings or language. Sometimes it'll be under language.
Yeah.
But if you're watching it from something like Apple TV, Netflix, you would go to subtitles or audio. Somewhere around there.
And then it'll give you the audio description of what's going on. Yeah, that makes sense. That actually makes sense. And then you have the I was curious too about how you went through on your phone as well, of how that worked. But I mean, after knowing you for so long,
what the heck?
That was my phone.
Sounded like it took quite a tumble.
Hell yeah, it's probably broken now.
I don't know.
Nah, I'm just playing with you. But it so and I noticed how on your phone as well, whenever you go to access anything on your phone, there's like an audio description on that as well.
Voiceover.
Yeah.
Yes. So you can access it just as quickly as I can.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is hit your side button 3 times.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Is that for all of them, or is it you just have to set that up for
all
that?
of them? No, that I've set iPhones up. That's how easy it is.
Wow. Whoa. So you just turn on voiceover and then you can do everything from your voice?
Well, no, it just describes it whenever. Okay, so with voiceover, it basically, if you tap somewhere on the screen where there's text, it's going to tell you what's on the screen.
Yes, sir.
So, whenever you hear my phone kind of going, telling the time, that's when it unlocks, and whatever app I'm in, it, and the voices on it are, I always used Alex.
Alex? Oh, yeah.
But one thing I really want to do, because I've heard you can do it, there's something called personal voice on voiceover.
Personal voice? You can personalize your voice?
Well, what it is, it comes with iOS 17. But what it is basically is, it's also used for other purposes. Like for example, if you lose your voice, you can make a voice that sounds something like you, and then you can use live speech to talk in calls with that voice if you need to say something or.
Yeah, well, there's iOS 18 is coming out.
I know, man.
Are you excited about that?
Oh, heck yeah.
There's not really.
There's a lot of new changes coming to iOS 18.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. I don't think that it's really much anything that exciting like on. Because it was like iOS 15. I'm pretty sure that was the one that came out that was like revolutionary. Not very revolutionary, but like whenever it came out, you're like, damn, like there's a lot of cool stuff on here.
Oh yeah, man.
They added a whole bunch of crazy stuff on there. I'm pretty sure it was iOS 15.
I think.
Dang.
I remember 13 being revolutionary because you could get dark mode, and that was just that was the craze back then, man.
The craze.
It was the craze.
Yeah, dark mode. Okay,
everything had to have dark mode, so Apple did it, and that was about the time I got an iPad.
Yeah,
and I started, I
started going crazy.
Yeah, I turned my school iPad in because at GMS the school lent you iPads, so you could do your work and everything.
Yeah. At AC, they had Chromebooks.
Yeah, I never could. The Chromebooks have TalkBack, but you can't navigate it for crap.
Oh, yeah. Well, we was the first ones. I'm pretty sure we was the first class to have the Chromebooks. My grade, and which was the graduates of 2018, and maybe the people before us. I could be wrong about that, but anyways, we had the Chromebooks, and it was like I said, it's the first class that had them. So teachers and everybody else that was running the schools had no idea of the things that we could access on there. And there was kids like watching. Of course, they got rid of stuff like porn and whatnot, but we could still access movie websites, game websites. We could do a whole bunch of crazy stuff on there, and then we'd be in the back of the class, like just watching movies.
I remember
like we could pirate movies and stuff like that.
Yeah. I remember whenever I was going to school and everybody was on a field trip and I had to stay back, of course. I was telling you about that before the podcast. And I sat up for at least some of the period. I sat up because I really wanted the Carter 4 on CD. That I told you that, that was my real introduction to rap music as a whole.
Yeah.
So, I really wanted the CD because Caden had it. He wouldn't let me copy it. Yeah.
He wouldn't let you copy it and burn it?
He wouldn't let me burn it. He had an MP3 player.
Oh, did he have it on his MP3 player, or was it like
yeah, he had it on an MP3 player.
Oh, so, well, wasn't it already burnt then?
Yeah, but I mean, like, he
had the CD and then he burned it onto the MP3 player?
No, it was actually one of my uncle's friends.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
I understand.
And then eventually, like, I sat in the class and I'd have them look up,
the Carter 4.
The Carter 4. I was sitting there in the daggone classroom in the computer lab looking at them.
Listening to 6 foot, 7 foot.
6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot.
And they're like, yo, what's going on?
No, I had my headphones on, but.
Oh, okay. I thought he was like playing it out loud.
No.
No, that's wild.
No, man. I sat there and I listened to, that's the first time I heard Up, Up, and Away.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I really like that one. And of course, 6 foot, 7 foot, that's definitely 100% a good one. John.
I remember John.
With Rick Ross.
6 foot 7. I remember hearing that on the radio before I got into rap. Caden.
How to Love. How to Hate.
Yes. How to Hate and How to Love.
Yeah.
The two contradictionary songs.
Yeah. Trying to think about that. Trying to think about something else because it was a bunch of good ones.
Try to steal
Mirrors, of course.
Mirror. I like The View.
Yeah, you said that. There was another one on there that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
There was a couple that just they just went.
I like President Carter.
President Carter, of course, man. Let me look up Carter 4. Let me look this up because that's really a good album, man. Blowin', of course. Mega Man. Nightmares of the Bottom. Bro, she will.
She will.
Yes, sir. She will. I knew that there was another one on there with
Do
Drake.
It for the realest people in the game right now. Yeah. She will.
It's good.
Oh,
yes,
gosh.
sir. The outro. That one's amazing, man.
Yeah. Novocaine.
Oh, Novocaine. Yep. I got some money on me. 2 shots.
Bro, I remember, like, at GMS, I would be bumping it, and Miss Allison would just sit there be jamming.
Yeah, just be jamming out. Hey, bro, I meant to ask you, do you ever use ChatGPT?
I haven't really got into much of that stuff.
Bro, I bet that you would like that, bro, because you could conversate. They have ChatGPT O now, or 4.0. I'm pretty sure it's ChatGPT O, and it's the O stands for Omni. So meaning all. So it's able to do everything basically, and it's very good at everything that you can ask it to do. And there's a chat mode on it to where you can talk to it, and it can talk to you it can talk to you like a normal person. I think that you would actually enjoy that because you can talk to it and actually have in-depth conversations with it, or you can ask it. You can ask it certain things and it'll answer it for you, like including math, or it's actually very phenomenal at math. The ChatGPT O is, I think it's better than ChatGPT 4, but you can ask it to read you something. You can ask it to do a whole bunch of different things, especially conversation is wild with that thing because you can go back and forth with it into in-depth. And if you have questions about anything, like if you're in a predicament, I've used it for this before. If I'm in like a predicament or something and I'm trying to figure out what is the best option and weighing options about this and that,
right?
I will ask it what it thinks that I should do about it, and then it'll kind of break down the pros and the cons of certain things. And it really is a good tool to help you do certain things.
Right.
And it's free. I think you should download it, Skyler.
You know, speaking of iOS, you were talking about iOS 18.
Uh-huh.
Well, in the newer, I think it's only in the newer iPhones as of right now.
Apple Intelligence. Yeah.
Yes, and Siri is now going to use ChatGPT to do some things.
Yeah, bro. I'm pretty sure the OpenAI, I'm pretty sure that is coming up to be one of the most most valuable companies. I'm pretty sure that's what it's coming up to be because it was Apple there for a while, and then Microsoft surpassed it not too long ago, and then now I think that it's Google. I think Alphabet. I think that's what it's called. Alphabet, which owns Google and YouTube and everything under that. Everything under that, and then now I think that ChatGPT or OpenAI is making all these deals with all these super valuable companies, and that's making them so much money. And of course, there's people and they're on the market, so then people are investing into it in the stock market and whatnot. So then they're getting funds like that. They're getting all kinds of money from a bunch of different places. And of course, people just paying for ChatGPT just in general. I pay for ChatGPT.
Yeah, I know there's a free version, and then I know there's one that you can pay for.
Well, the free version is really all you need because it has ChatGPT O on there, which is Omni. But the only reason I pay for it is because I can get it to generate pictures for me. I can get it to generate AI pictures, and I can get it to do like different types of customization that I can get it. But I really don't mind paying for it because I think that, paying for it and giving those people money, it'll make the systems better. It'll make the systems definitely better in the long run. So I really don't mind paying for something like that because I think that it's definitely worth it.
Another thing I'm really wanting to try out, I was telling you about the personal voice.
Uh-huh.
And you can use it with voiceover.
What, ChatGPT?
No, personal voice.
Oh.
So, my only thing is, getting through, there's 150 phrases you have to say.
You have to learn all 150.
Well, you have to say all 150 phrases, and some of them are long as crap.
Really?
And I'm sitting there trying to enunciate it all.
Yeah. Is one of them supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
No, it's just long sentences, randomized long sentences.
Can you say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
Of course. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, how many peppers did Peter Piper pick?
10.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Yes, sir. Hey. I like that.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yes, sir. That's one of the words that you had to learn. Bro, I really want to see you interact with them ChatGPT, bro. Like really bad because I think that's just so phenomenal. You can go in-depth conversations with it too. I think that I've got it. It doesn't know certain things though. Like of course it doesn't know certain things, but it's like it's one of the it's a like a bot that knows basically everything on the internet.
Right.
So you can ask it certain questions, but there are certain questions like whenever you start getting into politics or like moral questions, if you would, it kind of struggles with those, and not really does it struggle, but it kind of just tells you what it's told to say. For what the people programmed it to say, basically.
Right.
You should try it out, bro. For real.
I mean, I don't think I'd be talking politics with an AI bot.
Well, just to hear what it says, I went in depth with it, especially about God, just to hear like what it talks about, or just just to test the limits of it, to get down real deep into conversations and just to see where its morality stands or what it would do in certain situations. But at the same time, it's not conscious, it's not sentient, so
right.
It only is programmed to say certain things, and to give certain responses based off of what you say. So really, its opinion on certain things is not really its opinion. It's just whatever it's told its opinion is.
Right.
It's pretty wild, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, technology as a whole has came, like, if you look back in the 2000s, scratch that, take it back to the 90s, when the internet was first invented, you had to, there was no wireless. You had to have an Ethernet port.
Yeah.
And then Wi-Fi started becoming a thing. And then, your mobile data. And, then the iPhone started coming out in about 2007.
I recall that.
Which started a whole generation.
A whole fiasco.
Yes. A whole generation of, great phones, I think. I think iPhone is better than Android. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now.
Well, you done riled a whole bunch of people up.
Well, I think Androids, they get viruses on them way too fast.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you'll have, some on an iPhone, but it's never like, it's
never like really corrupting.
Right. It's nothing that slows your phone down to like
to 5%.
5%.
Yeah.
The only time I've seen that actually happen with an iPad or iPhone was an iPad 2 that was running iOS 9.3.5. And
actually, I've never seen it on an Apple product.
We were
except for maybe on a
we were on iOS 13 by this point. So it had slowed down considerably.
iOS 13.
iOS 9.
So, yeah. Well, actually, and I guess at that point, I think that it was because back in the day, and not even that long back in the day, Apple would put whenever Apple did the updates on any of the devices, they would actually do the updates to slow it down so that people would buy the newer devices. And then people caught on to that, and I think that they got into a big lawsuit because of it. And then they had to pay out like a whole bunch of money or something because they kept on putting out these updates to where it would slow the phones down. But so then after they did that, they had to backtrack, and they had to stop doing that.
And that's a good thing, too, because
that is a good thing.
That is a good thing. But I think that right there, I think it was more due to, aging hardware or aging software than it was, for viruses and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying, though, the aging software as well. I mean, even after the updates and stuff, they would still, whatever updates would come along, they would just put And yeah, I guess you'd say it's outdated software, but and not even what I'm saying about the updates that they would put in it that it would slow the devices down. What I'm also saying too is that the device software that it initially had was probably the best at the time, but as the technology got better and it gets better increasingly fast.
It does.
At a very fast rate. Yeah, and so even then the hardware at the time probably slowed down due to age, like it just aging.
Right.
And so it puts a little bit of wear and tear on the hardware itself the more or less it's used. Sometimes it's either or, and sometimes it's both, because sometimes the technology nowadays, if you don't use it, then it actually gets worse. But if you use it too much, then it gets worse. So there's kind of like an in between there. But I mean, nowadays you don't really have to worry about either one as much because technology is getting better, and then they're working on that. But anyways,
do you remember those 30-prong pin things that iPhones used to plug into?
3-prong
30-prong.
30-prong. What do you mean? What was that?
It was the big wide charger.
The big wide chargers?
Yeah,
for MacBooks?
No, for iPhones. I think they started using what they do now.
The lightning cords. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about because I had an iPhone 4.
2012, 2013. I think.
Yeah, I had an iPhone 4S. Yeah, and it took that big ass charger too.
It did.
Big charger. Gotta watch my mouth. No, but the big, I know exactly what you're talking about. The big rectangle charger.
Yeah.
I remember I used to have one of those.
I used to have an iPad too. That was my first iPad, and I was so excited.
And it took that same charger.
I mean, it worked. It did what it was supposed to for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it started slowing down, and then next thing you know, I got my iPad 7th generation, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And my mama got it for me for my birthday, 2019.
Oh, yeah. You got an iPad now?
Same one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, the battery's kind of kaput on it. I have to keep it plugged up a lot, but or else it'll go dead. But other than that, it served me good.
Most iPads that I've had has been great. I actually haven't had any problems out of any iPads that I've ever had, and I've had quite a few. I've had probably about 4 iPads in my my lifetime.
The iPhones or iPads I've had, they've done me good for what it was worth.
Mm-hmm.
My iPhone 11 lasted me like 3 years.
Yeah.
I've had this one for about a year.
The iPhone 11, yeah, I had an iPhone 11 Pro Max.
I've never had a Pro model.
I bought that whenever it first came out.
I remember when they started doing they took away the home screen. We were so mad at school.
They took away the home screen.
Not home screen. The
home button.
Oh, my mind's.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They took away the home button.
I actually appreciated that. I appreciate that they did that.
People at GMS, and I was amongst them at one point, we hated that they did that because it was iconic in a way.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You knew it was an iPhone if you looked on that home button. And it had that big round home button at the bottom. You knew it was an iPhone.
Yes, sir. I like that. I really do like that as well. But I was also appreciative that they took it away because on my old phone it got stuck.
Nowadays, I can deal with it. It's. I think it's better in a way as well because you get more screen room.
Yeah, absolutely. You get way more screen room, and it doesn't you don't have to worry about that messing up.
Right. I mean, there's some models, like the base models, you don't, that has no home button. But if you get the new iPhone SE, like I think it came out like 2021.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And they came out in like different colors.
2020.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It was the smaller iPhones.
It was the smaller, yeah.
That
one has the home button.
I was actually considering getting one of those. I mean, I love my phone right now. I have the 14 Pro Max.
I have a 14.
And I love this phone, but I wish that I had a smaller phone as well sometimes because... And sometimes I appreciate the bigger screen, but sometimes I wish that I had a smaller phone so that I didn't have to break my dang pinky every time.
Yeah. Bro, the Dynamic Island. I've never seen what the Dynamic Island does. I've heard it's cool.
Oh, it's not really much. It's not really much of anything.
I've heard that it's better on the 15 models, but...
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really...
I've never really seen it, so I don't know what it is supposed to do, or...
There's not much to it, man. There's really not much to it. There's just certain accessibilities that you can have added to it. And not even that, it's just... It can be convenient at sometimes, but it's not really. It's not really anything special.
Right. I mean, I kind of wanted to get an idea of what it was like.
Yeah. There's just certain things that you can do with it, and it's nothing really crazy.
Bro, I like the scenery.
The scenery of what?
Of this podcast.
Of the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got us a pretty...
the screen up there.
We got us a pretty good one in here, bro.
We do.
It's your first podcast ever.
It's my first podcast.
Well, my first
personal podcast.
Your first personal podcast. Yeah.
That's right.
You getting ready to wrap it up?
Well, I think we can wrap it up with some more of what we planned to talk about in the first place, which was the 2000s.
Okay.
So, what was some of your best memories of the 2000s? And I'll tell you some of mine.
My best memories was probably whenever I was really young. During that time, my parents was over the teen group in a church that we went to, and I would always be around older kids. They was teens, of course. There was any from like 15. I'm pretty sure it was 15 to like 19, or something like that. And I would always be around them, and I think that was some fun times. It was really fun times because I got to enjoy being around older kids or older people and then whenever I would get around younger kids my age, I would have kind of a difficult time because I would be hanging out with a little bit more mature people.
Right.
But at the same time, they still wasn't very mature, if you know what I'm saying.
I get you.
But I would have more fun though because it would kind of feel like I was with the older kids. And then so I would... It's kind of like it was kind of like a I don't know how to explain it, but I got to enjoy being around at that time, especially during and we didn't really have the smartphones. We didn't really have the smartphones at the time. At the time, the newest phone was like the Razor. And that was like the first, or the BlackBerry, yeah, and only rich people had them. It wasn't really one of those things where it was.
Everybody didn't have one.
Yeah, everybody didn't have one, and the only time you can access the internet was with a computer, and there wasn't many computers around us at the time. And I mean, I had a computer at the house,
but people had home computers.
Yeah, I mean, I had a computer, but I'm pretty sure for the longest time we didn't even have internet connected to the computer.
Right.
I mean,
we had we had internet. The first time we got internet was in 2010.
Yeah.
If I remember it right. And my brother, he loved computer games. He would get on there and he would, yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's what I would do. I would just play computer games. But anyways, like during the 2000s, I enjoyed it a lot because I would actually be around. I didn't know how much I enjoyed it at the time, but I could interact with everybody, and everybody interacted in a way that there wasn't any sort of short term. We could have. Let me see how to describe this. We didn't really have many distractions, if you would, like we do nowadays with the phones, and there wasn't social media, and if there was just like at the time it was
just TV. You watched a lot of TV, bro.
It was TV, and even then, like, we didn't really watch that much TV.
It cartoons.
It was just more like interactions. We would just have genuine good interactions with everybody, and we would just do activities, just interactions in general. That's really what got our dopamine up, instead of nowadays it's just scrolling on either social media or just being on your phone. Nowadays it's just that's like the equivalent to back in the day, whenever they was talking about the TV was rotting your brain out.
So many people. I'll tell you a little bit of my memories of the 2000s.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Which I agree with you on that point. About the distractions, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The closest thing I had to a phone listening to music on my was CDs. Portable CD player. We take that around.
Yes, I remember that too. Yes. Yeah, I had a portable CD too.
It was
CD player. I had a Batman CD player. Portable Batman CD player.
Well, I don't think we had anything like that, but there was a purple one that we always used, and it lasted us years. And we would carry that around, and we'd get CDs, and Mama had CDs, and one of my memories, I ran into Miss Mayberry, my Head Start teacher, yesterday at the bar.
Yeah.
So she remembers the train. We would. It's leading into what I'm talking about. Trust me.
Train. What train?
It was a train that we watched in Head Start. They eventually gave it to me, but whenever I would watch that train go around, I would listen to Mama's Trace Adkins CD.
Trace Adkins.
Yes.
Wow.
It was his American Man album, the greatest hits.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that album, and I would watch that train go around the track and listen to that. So, that was our entertainment back then, man.
Oh no, the camera cut out.
It wasn't. All these distractions like, getting on your phone or your iPad or, having internet in your face 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
We had, we listened to CDs. We played with, different things. We went outside a lot. We'd play.
Absolutely.
We'd get in the back.
I remember that too, going outside a lot. Mm-hmm. That was always fun.
We'd get in the back of Dad's truck, and we'd act like we was spending the night in there, but we weren't. We just acted like we were going away somewhere, and we'd pack a whole bag full of stuff out there and just sit out there and talk, me and Caden.
Yeah.
And, just a bunch of stuff that was some of the best years of my life. When I was when I was growing up, everybody came to our house to stay, everybody hung out there. That was the hot spot.
Yeah.
And
the hot spot.
Yeah. So, you know, we'd have, you know, my uncle over and my cousins, and we'd all get in the living room and play Rock Band. Some of Mama's friends, we'd all get in there and play Guitar Hero or Rock Band, and we would have a good time.
Just have a blast.
We would have a blast.
Just out there, just cooling around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro. The camera went off. The camera cut off.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think there might be something wrong with the battery, but we'll fix it. That's the perfect time for us to wrap it up, Skyler.
Yeah, man. So, if you haven't already, well, this is the first video, so
you haven't.
If you like this video, please subscribe, and we'll be back for more, buddy.
We'll be back for more. Have a good one.
Have a good one.